Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, and the name of the chapter is Major Landforms of the Earth. Now, in this particular session, we are going to understand in detail about these following things. The first thing that we are going to talk about is the different types of landforms, which are namely the mountains, the plateau, and the plains. Secondly, we will talk about the processes which result into such landforms. And last, we are going to discuss about the significance or the importance of these landforms. So, let us just start. Well, we all know that the earth has an infinite variety of landforms. In other words, we can also say that the surface of earth is not the same everywhere. Some parts of the lithosphere may be rugged while some are flat. So, let us first talk about the different types of landforms, which were the mountains, plateau, and the plains. So, first we are going to discuss about the mountains. So, there are three types of mountains. First, fold mountains. Second, block mountains. And third, volcanic mountains. So, we are going to discuss each of these now. First, we will talk about fold mountains. The Himalayan mountains and the Alps are young fold mountains with rugged relief and high conical peaks. Now, which one is considered to be the oldest fold mountain in the world? Well, the Aravalli Range in India is one of the oldest fold mountain systems of the world. The range has considerably worn down due to the process of erosion. The Appalachians in North America and the Ural Mountains in Russia have rounded features and low elevation. They are also very old fold mountains. So, these were about the fold mountains. Now, we will talk about the second category in mountains, that were the block mountains. So, block mountains are created when large areas are broken and displaced vertically. The uplifted blocks are termed as horsts and the lowered blocks are called the graben. The Rhine Valley and the Vosges Mountain in Europe are examples of such mountain systems. That is, they are examples of the block mountains. Now we will talk about the volcanic mountains. The volcanic mountains are formed due to the volcanic activity. Like just as its name suggests, they are formed due to the any volcanic activity. Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa and Mount Fujiyama in Japan are examples of such mountains. So this was about the mountains where we discussed about the three types. Now we are going to discuss about the second type of landforms, that is the plateaus. So a plateau is an elevated flat land. It is a flat topped tableland standing above the surrounding area. It may have one or more sides with steep slopes. Also, the height of the plateaus often varies from few hundred meters to several thousand meters. And plateaus, just like the mountains, may be even young or they can even be old. Now, which is the oldest plateau of India? Well, the answer to this is the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau in India is one of the oldest plateaus, whereas the East African Plateau in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, and the Western Plateau of Australia are also few other examples. The Tibet Plateau is the highest plateau in the world with a height of 4,000 to 6,000 meters above the main sea level. So this was about the plateaus. Now after discussing about the mountains and the plateaus, we are now going to discuss about the plains. So what are plains? Plains are large stretches of flat land. They are generally not more than 200 meters above the main sea level. Some plains are extremely leveled, while others may be slightly rolling or undulating. Now, what do we mean by the term undulating? Well, it means uneven or unequal. So, most of the plains are formed by the rivers and their tributaries. The rivers flow down from the slopes of the mountains and erode them. They carry forward the eroded material, and when they deposit their load consisting of the stones, sand, and silt along their courses and in their valleys, it is from these deposits that these plains are formed. So, this is how we discuss about the process in which the plains are formed. They are mainly formed by the deposition that is carried down by the rivers from mountains, and when they settle these deposits, then the plains are formed. Now, some of the largest plains that are made by the rivers are found in Asia and North America. So, examples could be in Asia, the examples are the plains that are formed by the Ganga and the Brahmaputra and the Yangtze in China. So, these were about the three types of landforms: the mountains, the plateaus, and the plains. Now, we are going to talk about the processes which result into such landforms. It is very important to understand the various processes due to which such landforms are formed. So, these landforms are a result of two processes. First, the internal process, and second is the external process. Now, what are these two processes? So, we are going to discuss it. So, the first process is about the internal one. The internal process leads to the upliftment and sinking of the earth's surface at several places, whereas in case of the external process, it is a continuous wearing down and rebuilding of the land surface. This wearing away of the earth's surface is also called erosion. The surface is being lowered by the process of erosion and rebuilt by the process of deposition. Hence, these two processes are being carried out by the running water, ice, and wind. So, these two processes leads to the formation of such landforms. Now, it is important to understand about the importance or significance of each of these landforms that we have discussed so far. So, first let us understand the importance of mountains, like how mountains are important or useful for us. So, mountains are very useful. Why? There are many reasons. First, they are a storehouse of water. In other words, we can also say that many rivers have their source in the glaciers which are there in the mountains. Also, the river valleys and the terraces are ideal for the cultivation of crops. Now, mountains even have a rich variety of flora and fauna. Flora and fauna are the plants and the wildlife. The forests provide fuel, fodder, shelter, and other products like gum, raisins, etc., which are all useful for us. Now, mountains are even important as they provide an idyllic site for tourists. Several sports like paragliding, hang gliding, river rafting, and skiing are also popular in the mountains. So, these were all the importance of the mountains. Now, we are going to understand about the significance of the plateaus. So, plateaus are very useful because they are rich in the mineral deposits. As a result, many of the mining areas in the world are located in these plateau areas. Examples could be the African plateau, which is famous for both gold as well as diamond mining. In India, huge reserves of iron, coal, and manganese are found in the Chota Nagpur plateau. Also, in the plateau areas, there may be several waterfalls as the river falls from a great height. In India, the Hundru Falls in the Chota Nagpur plateau on the river Subarnarekha and the Jog Falls in Karnataka are examples of such important waterfalls. The lava plateaus are rich in black soil. Now, when they are rich in black soil, it means that they are very fertile and also good for cultivation. Now, many plateaus have scenic spots and are also of great attraction to the tourists. So this was about the significance of the plateaus. Now we are going to talk about the significance of the plains, like how plains are important. Well, plains are very thickly populated regions of the world. In India as well, the Indo-Gangetic plains are the most densely populated regions of the country. Now, why is it so? The main reason is because of the fertility of soil that is present there. So, because of the fertile soil, the lands become highly productive for cultivation. Hence, this is a very important aspect in case of plains. So this was all about in this session where we discussed about the various landforms, their various types, subtypes, and then we moved on to understand about the process which leads to the formation of these landforms, and lastly we discussed about the importance and significance of each of these landforms. So that is all. Thank you.